What if I told you you might not be a project manager? At least not in the way you think. Why? Because having the title doesn't mean you're leading. It just means you're in the game. Here's the harsh truth. Not all project managers are actually managing projects. Some PMs lead, some PMs coordinate, and some PMs, well, they just schedule meetings and update spreadsheets. Think about it like this. You wouldn't go to your family doctor or a podiatrist for heart surgery, right? Doctors specialize, and so do PMs. But in our field, all PMs are treated the same. After years in the field, I've developed a framework that breaks PMs into 4 levels. And when you see where you fit, it just might change your entire career perspective. Oh, and before we wrap up, I'll clear up another misconception. There's a role out there that sounds like a PM, but it's not. And it might be just what you're actually doing. But first, where do you fit? Let's find out. This framework is the 4 levels of project management. The first level is project reporting. In project reporting, you're just tracking. You're not managing. Some of the key characteristics of project reporting are generating reports, updating dashboards, sending out status reports. Some of the other things that you may do are document the tasks, the deadlines, the project health. You might even use some of the project tools, but you're really just doing data entry and updating the information based on what somebody else tells you. You're not managing the task. This role is reactive, not strategic. You're tracking and reporting. You're not making any decisions. You're more of an administrator than a project manager. The problem with this role is it can be easily automated and you have no decision making. There's no leadership in this role. The next level is called project monitoring. Now at this level, you're watching, but you're still not managing. You may be doing things like tracking risks and the triple constraint, the budget, the scope, the timeline, but you don't make the final call. You may flag some problems, you could notate some delays, but other people fix the problems. You have visibility into the project and some of the issues that are happening, but you have no real control. Your job is really just to monitor the project health, to enforce the compliance, and to escalate any issues that could come up. You can't really do anything. You have to escalate them to somebody else to fix. You support the project, you support the decisions, but you don't actually make them. It's easy to get stuck here thinking you're managing, but you're actually just monitoring. Now, don't get me wrong. These are very important functions that all project managers do. However, it's not until you get into the next level where you actually start managing. The next level is project coordination. Some of the key characteristics of project coordination are you own the day-to-day execution, the tasks, the timelines, and the resources. You may coordinate meetings, you could manage the dependencies and track progress. You facilitate decision-making, but you don't actually set project strategy. You're the bridge between leadership and execution. You're ensuring things get done, but you're not defining what should be done. Now, the 4th level is project management, and you guessed it, this is where you own it all. This is the strategic level in the project management framework. The key characteristics of this level are you are defining the project scope, the strategy, and the direction. You're managing stakeholder alignment, high-level risks, and the business outcomes. You own the results. If the project fails, it's on you. You'll know you're here when you're making high-level strategic decisions and you're not just tracking progress. Now, like I said before, each one of these levels is needed in order to be able to do true project management. And I see a lot of frustrated project managers out there who think they're doing project management, but they're typically stuck at one of the lower levels. This is what I call the accountability trap. This is when you have all of the responsibility of outcome, but you have none of the authority to actually get things done. Some people call this the scapegoat. Some people call this the whipping boy, but those of us that have been there, we know exactly how this feels. And if you don't break out of it, you'll stay stuck in the mud as an overpaid coordinator and not an empowered project manager. Some of the things that you can do immediately is shift your mindset. Don't see yourself as just a task owner. Start becoming a strategic partner. Own the risks and decisions. Don't just report on them and expect somebody else to fix them. Start taking a stronger stance to stakeholder expectations. Try to influence the narrative and the outcome of where you're actually going. By owning the results and actually showing value, it'll start to elevate how other folks see you and start getting you up into the framework more towards project ownership, leadership, and true project management. Remember, the best project managers aren't just tracking progress. They're making things happen. If you want to see a future video on some of the tactics that you can use to actually elevate your career through this framework, drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear it, and then I'll go ahead and put that out there. Now, you probably thought I forgot, but there's a role out there that actually looks like a project manager, but isn't project management. And that's called the implementation manager. The key difference between project management and implementation management is project managers own the entire project lifecycle from initiation to closure. They define the scope, the budget, the risks, and the overall strategy. An implementation manager's focus is on delivering and operationalizing a specific part of the project, often the technical deployments, the system integrations, or the process rollouts. Project managers build the bridge. Implementation managers make sure people know how to cross it. Some of the things they do is they execute on a predefined scope, they focus on the technical delivery, and they follow a set process. Typically, an implementation manager doesn't set project strategy, they don't own risk management, and they don't influence business decisions. So where do you sit? Are you reporting? Are you monitoring? Are you coordinating? Or are you actually managing your projects? Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. And if you like this kind of content on real-world project management insights, let me know that as well. And I'd appreciate it if you subscribed so we can connect, learn, and innovate together.